who, for his own pleasure, takes the role, the pastime of tending cows. That's what he likes to do. Radha Ramana is another name of a Supreme Krishna, and it means the person who gives pleasure to Radha, to Srimati Radharani. Jaya means victory. So this is the first mantra, and the second will be this one, just to let you know. This is called the Maha Mantra. So first we will chant this, and then the second. Om Gyanati Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Gopala You Govinda Gopala Govinda Gopala Govinda Gopala Govinda Gopala Govinda Gopala Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Gopala Govinda Gopala Govinda Gopala Govinda Gopala Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jaya 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 Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana Hare, Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana Hare, Govinda Jaya Jaya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
Despite their busy agenda, they made the time also to come to the Netherlands this year. So yeah, they have dedicated their lives on practicing Bhakti yoga over 25 years, and also dedicated their lives in studying the Vedic scripture and sharing the message of the Vedas throughout the world. So also in Europe, US, especially New York, but also India. So they travel all over the world to spread the message of the Vedas and enlighten the souls around the world. So that's why we are very grateful to have them today. It's very relevant topic, learning from nature. I guess we can all learn from nature a lot. So me specifically, but I guess maybe all of you are really curious to hear what they would like to share today. So yeah, I give them the floor, and thanks again for joining. It's also a bit warm, so you can also go take some water if you feel thirsty. So we have cups there, and so feel comfortable, and also feel free to ask them questions. We'll also dedicate some time, maybe 15 minutes. It's good to have the interaction. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much one more time for coming and spending time with us. So, why learning from nature? Uh, I'll ask Pandava to say a few words. What is the idea behind this presentation, this seminar? And then we'll go till maybe it will take an hour for the whole presentation. And we hope that everyone will get something very, very deep and practical from this presentation.
Hare Krishna. So, we all like to enjoy nature. It comes natural to us. Everybody likes to get out of the busy city and to go to some nice park, or even better, go to the countryside. And Srila Prabhupada mentioned several times that there are two things that will help to create a
Finer brain tissues.
finer brain tissues. One is cow milk and milk products, and the other thing is beautiful scenery, beautiful nature. So, like we have behind some nice picture of some nice nature there. So this is very natural for us. However, besides enjoying, which comes very natural, we like to do these things. The Shastras, the Vedas, they teach us also how to learn from nature, how to accept the nature as our guru. And this is the subtitle of this seminar, this presentation. How to become your own guru. By employing your own intelligence. So, no, we don't need this reverb now. Hare Yeah. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay, let's try.
Is it okay for the people in the back? Do you hear properly?
Can you hear? Okay. So why can we learn from nature? The thing is that since this material world is created by God, God has embedded everywhere around us different messages that they lead towards the same conclusion. They may be different in details, but the principle is the same. Therefore, I like to say that they are coded everywhere around us. And if you know how to look, and if you take the guidance of the scriptures, then we can become our own instructing guru. It is very interesting conversation amongst you. Maybe somebody has read already Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto. There is very interesting conversation there between the Supreme Lord Krishna and his devotee Uddhava. And there Uddhava expresses his love and devotion to the Lord, and he tells Krishna, besides you, nobody can save me, nobody can deliver knowledge to me. You're the only one. Then Krishna in reply, he says, you can also deliver yourself. You have enough intelligence to take lesson from everything around you. And then in confirmation, in continuation of this, he narrates a story, and this is our story. Now we're gonna present to you. It is a story about a great king, King Yadu. Such a great king that the Supreme Lord himself decided that he would take birth in his dynasty. And once King Yadu was touring his kingdom, and he saw a very interesting person. This person was very young, handsome, intelligent, eloquent, all these nice, beautiful qualities, but he was not doing anything material. He was just sitting there, and King Yadu became very curious, and he asked him a question. So the mood behind the question was very respectful. This is the way to receive knowledge. If you want to get spiritual knowledge, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains that one should ask questions with desire of intelligent questions, with desire of to render some service, and should be very respectful. In this way, we're able to please these saintly persons, and they will deliver knowledge to us. They will share their own realization, which is very valuable. It is like you go to a rich person and you ask for money. So he can give you lots of money, but you have to be respectful, right? And you have to say the proper thing. In the same way, the spiritual personalities, they have earned tremendous spiritual wealth, and they can share with us freely if we know how to please them and we render service. So King Yadu asked this holy personality, this saintly person, who is, by the way, known as the Python Sadhu. A little later we will understand why the Python. You know what is Sadhu? Sadhu. What is Sadhu? Sadhu is a holy person. Person who, by his words, can cut through our illusion, just like an expert physician. He can cure the disease, sometimes by administering some bitter medicine, or sometimes even by cutting and removing something from the body, etc. So this Python Sadhu, Yadu Maharaj approached him and he asked him, you look so intelligent, so capable, you're young and handsome, you could enjoy this material world. Instead of this, you're just sitting here and you seem to be not interested in anything material. How come that you're free of lust, although you're so young? You could desire a beautiful wife. Why don't you do anything? Why don't you engage with this material world? It was very interesting questions, and this holy person, he heard this, he understood the mood of the king, and he decided to answer. And then he told him, because one of the questions of the king was, how have you attained this perfect level of consciousness? What have you done to earn this? And then the Python sadhu, he replied, I have learned all this by hearing from my gurus. I have 24 gurus. And now, because you asked this question with very proper mood, with humble mood, with humility, I'm very pleased to deliver all this knowledge to you. So now these 24 gurus that we're going to go through briefly, they're not like the ordinary gurus. Ordinary guru sits on an elevated platform and he delivers the sermon, right? He speaks, he explains. These gurus, they didn't act like this. As we will learn a little later, these are all different natural phenomena. The sun, the moon, the earth, the tree, the young girl, the arrow maker, etc. So they didn't speak to him as we speak now, but just by their nature, by their activity, and by the ability of this saintly person to understand the lesson without talking, then he could learn from them. Very interesting. So in this sense, the subtitle of this presentation is How to Be Your Own Guru. By using the intelligence given by Krishna, by the Supreme Lord, we can observe the world and see the lesson that Krishna has embedded in every object of this world and learn from it. In this way, we will be always in contact with our Guru, no matter where we go. We'll be always, just like Srila Prabhupada said, Srila Prabhupada said that I'm always with my spiritual master. He has never left because I always follow his instructions. Okay, so this was our short introduction. This is what we're going to see now. We're going to go through all these teachers. And please keep in mind that also Supreme Lord Krishna, he explained that unless one has many, many gurus, they're called Shiksha gurus. Shiksha means those gurus who give instructions. He cannot very well understand the absolute truth. If one has only one guru, then it will be difficult. So we have only one Diksha guru who gives us initiation. We don't have many of those, just one. But Shiksha gurus who give us instructions about spiritual life, we should have more than one. In this way, we will learn better because we'll gather more and more realizations, more and more wealth, and we'll be able to apply it better in our life. We will see how spiritual life, spiritual knowledge is practical. It is not meant to stay in the books, there on the shelf, where we are happy to display to our guests. You see, I have the whole Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, etc. But we hardly have time to study them and to apply them in our life. Interesting thing in spiritual life comes when you apply the knowledge. And then you see how it works for you. That's very amazing experience. Alright, so let's try to learn something from these 24 gurus and see how this can be applied in our own personal spiritual life.
So I have a question for you. Do you like questions? No exam, no test, just a question. So I guess each one of you, when you heard that there will be a presentation learning from nature, something came up in your mind. So what is it? Like, give me examples. What can we learn from nature? Tell me. Everything.
Everything.
I I won't debate about this one. Yes. Yes. Everything is changing in this world. Beautiful. Yes, we are going to speak about this.
Adaptability. Nothing is forever.
Adaptability, great. Yes. Not everything is temporary. Yes. Very nice.
To be still.
To be still. Like what?
Still like.
From where? From which of the elements, or
Like
where?
the mountain, for example.
Sorry?
Like the mountain, for example.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about trees.
Trees.
Yeah.
Very good.
We are not this body.
We are not this body. Okay, we are going to speak about this also. Beautiful. Eating.
Healing.
Oh, I'm hungry. That's why I'm hearing eating. Okay, healing also. Yes, I agree.
Helping nature.
Helping nature.
We are coming back to nature. When we leave the body, we will be in nature.
Okay, we come from nature and then we'll go back to nature. Yes, I believe this is said in the Bible. Yes.
No.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong, but I think in the Bible there is something like we are coming from dust and we'll become dust again.
From nature we come to know that everything has a purpose.
From the nature we can learn that everything has a purpose. Yes, nothing is happening by chance. There is intelligence, there is a thought behind everything that is happening in this world. Very nice.
I like this very much because this is the basic of the basis of the whole presentation. Because God, who is the creator of everything, He has embedded meaning and purpose in everything around us. Therefore, from everything we can learn about ourselves, about the universe, about God, and we'll see practically how this is working. Therefore, also, there are many different types of scriptures. For example, Ayurveda, astrology, that's Jyotish, yeah, astrology, and Dhanurveda or Natya Shastra, the science of drama, music, dance, etc. And the interesting thing is that from all these scriptures, which look very different in details, we can learn about absolute truth. And although they give different aspects of reality, they all lead us towards the same goal, which is pure devotion service to Krishna. It's an amazing thing.
I see you already have very nice ideas. So yeah, basically everything you said, it's correct, it's very nice, it's very deep. And now we'll get some extra points from our saint, from our saintly wise man, who will share with us what he has learned by observing nature. And maybe we can take some of those things and then we can think about them. And maybe even we'll get some nice ideas and we'll apply some of those things in our personal life. Are you ready?
Yes.
Great. Okay, so our first guru is Earth. What can we learn from Earth? Well, many things, definitely. But one very, very, very special thing, yeah, maybe we can turn off the lights. One very nice thing we can learn from Earth is that no matter what's happening on the surface of Earth, like nowadays we humans, we like to torture Earth in many different ways, isn't it? It happens, willingly or unwillingly. And still, Earth goes on and doesn't change its orbit. So, one great lesson we can learn from Earth is, in this life we will meet with many strange situations and maybe we will also meet with many strange personalities. But it doesn't mean we have to change our plan, we have to change our course. Rather, like the Earth, we should always stay steady, fixed, and always try to achieve what we have in mind. So like that, life won't be always easy. There will be lots of difficulties, there will be lots of changes and challenges in our life. But if we are very fixed in what we want to achieve, like the earth, we can just continue on our orbit and not change our course of action. So this is something that we can learn from earth: tolerance and steadiness. Then our friend, the saintly person, says that from the tree and the mountain also he learned few amazing things. A saintly person should learn from the mountain and the tree to devote all his efforts to the service of others and to make the welfare of others the sole reason for his existence. So if we take, for example, a tree, someone mentioned the tree. If we take a tree, we can see the tree is really living for others, isn't it? The tree is there, doesn't go anywhere. When the weather is bad, the tree cannot say, oh, it's too cold for me, let me go inside. No, the tree is there. But at the same time, tree is giving so much to everybody. Gives shadow, gives fruits. Sometimes the tree even gives himself. People go and cut the tree and the tree is not protesting. Okay, my existence is meant for others. Let me sacrifice my existence for others. And also, Pandava, he likes to say that sometimes people, they uproot the tree and bring it somewhere else and put it on this place, and the tree continue growing and giving fruits again. The tree is not asking, oh, can you bring me from Bulgaria to Netherlands? No, tree wants to be in Bulgaria. But if you bring him, okay, no problem. Accept the circumstances, accepts the situation in life. So this is amazing lesson, very deep lesson. We as a human being supposed to sacrifice our life one way or the other for others, for the benefit of others. In other words, our life is not meant just to be selfish. Do you agree with this? Yes or yes? Thank you very much.
I just remembered in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that Agayo Indriya Ramam Bhogam Partha Sajikati. If somebody lives life without yajna, without sacrifice, then he lives in vain. It's useless life. Because life is, human life especially, is meant to bring us eternal benefit. What we do in this life is meant to give us eternal life of bliss and happiness and knowledge, and not just temporary relief of pain and temporary pleasure. So we shouldn't waste our time in efforts that are only giving temporary results. That's one of the major lessons of the Buddhists.
Yeah, like for example, if someone is living alone, well, maybe there is some sacrifice in his life, but not a lot. Now, if he is living with a family, oh, it's much more, isn't it? What about this kid? What about that kid? What about the husband? What about the wife? So much more sacrifice. Now, what about if you want to do something for your country? Wow, it's even more. It's even more sacrifice. So in this way, our life is meant to do something for others. Our life is meant for helping others. This is something we can learn from the tree. And the mountain also. The mountain is giving shelter, is giving so many things for others and doesn't ask for anything in return. That's something also we can learn from the mountain. Our next guru is the wind. Now here the lesson is a little bit deep. Let's try to see what can we learn from the wind. You know, the wind is just passing through different places. And sometimes there are nice smells and sometimes bad smells. And the wind is kind of uniting with them and it's carrying them. But at the same time, The wind is never the smell itself. Yes, he's bringing all these smells here and there, but actually he's always staying aloof from the smell. So our great saintly personality is explaining that from the wind, he has learned that we, the spiritual being, the soul, we are different through the different situations in our life. Sometimes we are passing through one situation and it's a very nice situation. Wow, they told me they are giving me a better position on my job and my salary is getting twice bigger. Yoo-hoo! I'm so happy, so happy, so happy. And then after 2 years, oh, they told me they don't need me anymore. Okay, what I'm going to do now with my life? Or someone comes to you and tells you, I love you. And then the same person comes next day and tells you, I don't love you anymore. Wait a minute, how is that? So like that, many, many different situations in our life. And some are good, some are bad. But we, the spiritual beings, we are not those situations. Yes, we are going through these situations. We are experiencing them. But we are not these situations. We are something different. So like that, from the wind, we can learn this very powerful, very deep lesson. That through whatever situations we are going in our life, we should always know, well, this is something temporary, and actually I'm not this situation. I'm passing through the situation, but I'm not this situation. We should always try to make a difference between ourselves and different situations in our life. Do you have any question? Especially the kids. Without the question when we are going to eat something else. Okay, our next guru is the water. Please tell me, what can we learn from the water?
We can't live without it.
We cannot live without the water. Well, that's a very potential, powerful lesson, yes.
Taking the shape of whichever vessel it goes in.
Whoa, okay, very nice. What is that? Tell me.
Water
Water.
and also all other materials can change the form. So water can turn into ice or vapor. But also stay water itself.
So what is the conclusion? What can we get for our life from this?
That you can adopt to things if it is needed.
Very nice, okay. So you should be able to shape yourself according to the circumstances.
And at the same time, you remain the same, right? You adopt, but you remain who you are. Your core, your self doesn't change. Just like water changes from ice to liquid, then to something else to. But the essence of water remains the same. So in the same way, connected to the previous lesson of the week, we may go through different changes in life, but we still remain who we are, the same person. The spiritual soul remains the same.
The water can take all the impurities and still can also become pure.
The water can take all the impurities and still remain pure. Okay, I agree. Yes.
It's enough quantity.
Yes, like a big body of water, for example, an ocean. There may be so many dirty things inside, but the ocean has the power to purify himself and always stays pure. Yes, that's a good point.
We should not stuck with the situation. We should keep flowing like a river.
Keep flowing. Okay, I like this one. Don't be attached, because the life will give you so many nice things. Don't be attached to one place, to one position, and you think, oh, that's it. Nothing better will come. No, don't be afraid. The Lord will help. He will arrange an even better situation for you. Keep flowing, keep trying, keep improving yourself. Very nice. I like very much the point of water taking different shapes. It means that the water is something very, very soft. Yes? But at the same time, it is said that the water is very, very hard. Do you agree?
Yes.
Do you know how they cut stones? They take a water and they just shoot the water from a very small hole with a very powerful pressure. And in this way they are cutting stone. So the stone is something so hard and the water is something so soft. But also can be very, very hard. So we should learn to be like a water, very, very soft, but also very, very hard. You know who said this? Very good. You're doing martial arts. Maybe in the future. Very good. Yes, Bruce Lee said this. We should be soft as a water, but also very hard.
There is one more point, Guru. Even though the water does not have any color, but it can take any color
Wow.
according to the.
Okay. Yes, the water doesn't have color, but it can take so many colors. Okay, very nice. Again, we should be able to adapt in a certain situations. But as Pandava said, at the end of the day, we should stay ourselves. We shouldn't lose our original pure nature. And also in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying that I am the taste of the pure water. Rasoham apsu kaunteya. Prabhasmi shisurayo. I am also the light of the moon and the sun. So our next guru is the moon. The moon is going through different phases. Yes? Sometimes we perceive the moon as a full moon. What is the Sanskrit word? Purnima. Very good. And sometimes we hardly see the moon. It doesn't exist. That's why it's so dark at night. How do we call that? Amavasya. Wow. You're pandits here. Very good. Yes. So from our perspective, it looks like that the moon is changing. But actually, technically speaking, scientifically, the moon is not changing. The moon is always the same. Our perception of the moon is changing. So in the same way, it is explained that we are passing through different bodies. The spirit, the spiritual entity, is going through different bodies. Like now we have a human body. Actually, in the Vedas, it is explained that from all kinds of bodies or machines that we can take, the human body is the most precious. There is interesting example given in the Vedas. We have a huge body of water, let's say the ocean. And somewhere in this ocean, there is one small tree floating with a hole in the middle of the tree. And also somewhere in this huge ocean, there is a turtle that is swimming under the water. Now, from time to time, this turtle, they have to come out and take air. The moment this turtle decides to go out on the surface of the ocean and take air, the head of the turtle goes exactly through this hole of this tree, which is flowing somewhere on this huge ocean. This is the chance to receive a human form of life. In the Vedas it is explained. In other words, it's a very, very, very rare opportunity, and one receives a human form of life after evolution of many, many, many other different forms of life, like insects and beasts and fishes, aquatics, and so many, many, many others until we reach human form of life. So now we have this special human form of life, but the soul, the spiritual being, can have so many other different kinds of forms of life. And it doesn't matter in which one form of life we are still the same spiritual being. So like the moon sometimes looks full, sometimes looks almost non-existent, but the moon is the same being, the same entity. So we, although may go through many different changes in our life, we are the same spiritual beings, we are the same entity. And the Vedas explain that there are many, many different spiritual processes to realize this, how we are different from the body and we are a spiritual being. And generally this process, they are known as yoga, different kinds of yogas, Ashtanga yoga, Jnana yoga, Karma yoga, Bhakti yoga. And especially for this age that we are living now, it is especially recommended chanting of mantras, mantra meditation or Bhakti yoga. It is explained this is the easiest way to elevate your consciousness and to understand how you are spirit, you are not material living entity. And that's why we did some kirtan in the beginning, to help us to understand who are we. Can you give me something else that we can learn from the moon? There is another very powerful lesson we can learn from the moon. But
The moon can reflect the light of others.
okay.
Now, if the light is not reflected, that is what we have got to use.
Oh, wow. That's very deep. Have you heard? Shall I repeat?
Yes.
So the moon is a star. The moon reflects the light from the sun. So in the same way, when we begin practicing spiritual life, we're receiving so much mercy, so much spiritual knowledge, and now we can take this same knowledge and reflect it and give it to others. Wow, that's very, very deep. That was a statement of a Brahmana. Someone very deep thinker.
So we should work on to clear our the mirror, because otherwise you don't reflect well. If you're different,
Yes.
then you should polish.
You have to regularly polish the mirror of the heart. Very nice. Another powerful lesson we can learn from the moon, I don't know if you can see nicely, but the moon has some spots on it. Yes? So like they say that one word I think in Sanskrit for moon is shashi. Is it so? Or Hindi? Or maybe Bengali? We have some Bengalis here. So shashi means rabbit, one of the meanings. Is it true? Or no? Why? Because they say, if you very carefully look, the moon, you see that the spots on the moon, they have the shape of a rabbit. Can you see a rabbit there? I don't here, but maybe we can experiment little later. But anyway, the point is, although the moon has a spots, still the light of the moon is coming out. They don't become a reason for the light of the moon to be dispersed. So in the same way, someone may be very dedicated to spiritual practice, and still he or she may have some small spots on the character for cleaning. But if the person is completely dedicated to spiritual practice, he should be accepted as a saintly personality, as a great personality, as a very learned person that we can learn something from him. Sometimes people, they say, no, if I see he is only 100% pure, only then I can take something from him. But it's not like that. It's not like that. Like you go in a shop to buy something, and you look through the shop and you see many things which are not worthy of buying, isn't it? But you see something which is good, and you say, hey, I'm going to get this one. Promotion, cheap, good quality. Okay, this is what I'm getting. So like that, we may see someone who is a very good example in certain sphere of life, but maybe not the great example in another. It doesn't mean we cannot take anything from him. We cannot learn anything from him. No, we can learn very good things, very deep things. So like that, the moon is an example for this. We are taking the benefit of the light of the moon despite the spots on the moon. So
There is, I think Chanakya, one of the greatest politicians in India, he wrote this Niti Shastra. He has a small book dedicated to this. And he said that one should be able to take lesson from a fool. So you have a foolish person, but it so happens that he says something that is true. So you shouldn't reject it just because it comes from a fool. Intelligent person will take a lesson from a fool. And then one should be able to take gold from a dirty place. It's gold. Maybe you have to polish it, clean it up, but it's pure gold. So you take it, doesn't matter, it's dirty place. And also one should be able to take a good wife coming from obscure family. She's a good person, but it so happens that according to her karma, she took birth in this questionable family. No, doesn't matter, one should take it. So these three things one should be able to do if he's intelligent person.
Learn even from a fool if he's giving you a good advice. Yes. Our next guru is the sun. Let me read for you. Just as the sun evaporates large quantities of water by its potent rays and later returns the water to the earth in the form of rain, similarly, a saintly person accepts all types of material objects with its material senses. And at the appropriate time, when the proper person has approached him to request them, he returns such material objects. Thus, both in accepting and giving up the objects of the senses, he is not entangled. So, someone who is spiritually advanced, he may get material possessions, but he is not going to become a slave of those material possessions. He's not going to use them just for his own happiness. Rather, he'll keep them and give them to a needy person when the time comes. So in this way, he becomes not entangled in this material world. And the sun in the same way evaporates water from a certain places, and then little later gives the same water to another place where the water is needed. That's a nice lesson we can learn from the sun. Also, the sun is evaporating water from different places. Some places are very clean, very pure, but some places are dirty. But the sun is never becoming contaminated. Rather, the sun is purifying these places. How is that? Because the sun is very, very powerful. Yes. So in the same way, in spiritual life, sometimes we are associating with a very pure people, sometimes with not so pure people. Sometimes we are residing in a very pure place, sometimes not so pure place. So now how we are going to remain pure? By raising our consciousness. Yes, we have to keep internal purity. If we are internally pure, we won't be influenced by the external circumstances. Like if you are very, very deeply peaceful in your heart, even if outside comes very confrontational situation, you remain peaceful, you remain tolerant, you remain relaxed. But then if your internal world is messed up, what will happen? Why are you talking to me like that? Who are you to tell me this? Come here, I'll show you now. Immediately we are out of balance. So that's why we need a strong spiritual practice, because strong spiritual practice is grounding us, is keeping us balanced. We are internally pure, internally happy, internally satisfied. Then even if there are some difficulties outside, we will be able to manage. And this is also a lesson that we learn from the ocean. Ocean is very, very deep. How deep? Who can tell me? How deep is the ocean in the deepest place? Tell me.
8 kilometers.
11.
8? Okay. 11.
11,000 meters. Yeah, 11.
Wow. Okay, we have a winner. Very good. You're learning something in school, huh? Yes, ocean is very, very deep. On the surface of the ocean, so many things are happening. Yes, we have huge waves, we have storms, so many things. Sometimes such a big waves that the ships are turning off. It can be very dangerous, in the ocean especially. Uh, but if you go a little bit deeper in the ocean is always still, calm, peaceful. It's not influenced by all these things happening on the surface. So, like that, in the same way, in our life, so many things will be happening. On the surface of our mind, so many things will be happening. But if we have depth in our life, these things they won't be able to move us much. And this is again coming through spiritual practice, through good association, regular eating, good sleeping. We should have a good beginning of our day. All these things they are helping you to stay peaceful, calm, strong, steady. Like if you don't eat a lot, Ayurveda, Indian medicine is explaining you have three energies in your body: Kapha, Pitta, and Vata. So Kapha means like a mud, weight, heaviness, and then Pitta means fire, and Vata means air. So if you don't have regulated lifestyle, your Vata becomes very high, and you become very shaky person. You become nervous, you become impatient, easily confronted, all these things. And then if you eat regularly, your kapha is keeping you relaxed, peaceful, cool down. And pitta makes you active. If you have too much pitta, then you become very fiery person. You start burning people with your eyes. You told me this, come here now. So also when we eat regularly, when we sleep enough, our fire, our air, they are in balance, and we are more happy. So these things are important, material and spiritual things. Strong spiritual practice and also balance in our life. Good eating habits, good sleep, enough sleep. Someone who is working seriously, he should sleep at least how many hours? Huh?
6 to 8.
I'm just curious to hear what's your ideas about sleeping. Some the businessmen they say 4 hours. I don't want to sleep more because time is money. And other people they're very relaxed. 8 to 10, 14 hours, no problem. It's okay. But yes, generally, if you sleep 6 to 8 hours, should be enough. Those who are working more hard, little bit more sleep. Those who are more like intellectual work, they can sleep little less and take little rest during the day. In India, the good thing is that always after lunch you can take little bit break. I really love this about India. You eat and then you relax a little bit. And sometimes they say, some doctors, they say, one shouldn't sleep during the day. This is not good for your health. But my Ayurvedic doctor told me that if you take rest 30, 40, 50 minutes, this is not considered sleep. This is considered rest. And I really like this. And I practice it. It helps actually. So like that, stay like the ocean, very deep. And then the things in this world won't be able to influence you.
Yeah, so we are going now through all these different groups, and one of the goals of this exercise is, of course, besides to learn different lessons, how everything is, all these elements are not to be enjoyed by us, but they are our gurus, which is a completely different outlook of life. Usually we look at everything in an enjoying spirit. Oh, I meet some person. How can I enjoy this person? Or how can I take something away and use this person for my own benefit? But by doing this exercise, we start to see Everyone is our guru. We can learn from everyone. Another thing that is very interesting is that according to the scripture, the ultimate goal of life is to remember God at the time of death. So believe it or not, but that's what is the ultimate goal of our life. It may sound a little strange, but even great philosophers like Plato, he explained that philosophy is a lesson in dying. That's what philosophy is. How to die properly. And to die properly means to remember Krishna, to remember God. So, because there are two ways to remember somebody. To always fix. There are two ways to concentrate, to focus, to control the mind. First is very easy, but that means you are in love with this person. Have you been in love with somebody?
Yes.
So if you have ever been in love, then you have noticed that during this period, it's usually the scientists, they have studied this, and they say that it takes few months. It's a specific, some special state of the mind that it takes few months to pass away. But during this period, the mind is drawn like a magnet towards the object of your affection. So you don't need to practice meditation. Now, every morning I will meditate for 10 minutes. You don't need to do that because the mind is, you wake up in the morning and the mind immediately jumps on this object of affection. So this is one way. It's very natural and easy. And this is the goal of life. We should be in love with God, with Krishna. However, if we are not yet, and there is a scientific process how you can attain this level, and it's called Bhakti Yoga, and that's what we did in the beginning, by Sankirtan Yagya, by chanting the holy name, you attain this level. But however, until you have not attained this level of spontaneous attraction to God, then there are other methods you can use. One of these methods is what we're doing right now. We're trying to see everything in connection to God. Because everything comes from God and everything is connected naturally to God, to Krishna. But how is it? We don't necessarily know that. And now by going through this sun, moon, mountain, tree, then we can learn how to see everything around us in connection to Krishna. And to remember that we are connected to Him all the time. Although we don't have this spontaneous attraction to Him yet. You see what we're trying to do now? So now when we see the sun, for example, we can remember what we have learned about the sun. You can remember Bhagavad Gita. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, I am the light of the sun and the moon. We don't have spontaneous love for Krishna yet, but at least we can remember. Sun and moon are the eyes of the universal form of the Lord. And what Tulsi mentioned, Rasukam Apsakam Teya Prabhasma Shashi Surya. Pranama Sarva Vedishu, Shabdike Paushamushu. In Bhagavad Gita also Krishna explains that I am the taste of the water. We drink water every day, several times. So while drinking water, we're supposed to try to understand this taste that quenches my thirst is actually Krishna. How is this? How is this working? How exactly this is Krishna? So drink water and remember this and think. This is called philosophical speculation. You speculate, you use this faculty of the mind, but it is based on the authority of Veda. So it's not useless. It's not this mental speculation that just agitates the mind. And also Krishna says, I am the sound of the ether. I am the ability in the man. I am the talent of the man. Everybody has some talent, and people are appreciating the talents in others. So this talent is Krishna. We have to think about this and try to understand. And etc. I am the original fragrance of the earth, says Krishna. I am the warmth of the fire. All beautiful things, Krishna says, they represent me. Everything that we are attracted to, we actually attracted to different aspects of Krishna's beauty, majesty, knowledge, all these opulences of Krishna. So this is a lesson how we can connect our day-to-day life and can spiritualize it. So we can remember that we have a higher purpose in life. We are just not going through life like a robot, like an animal. But we are here to learn something, to attain higher level of existence.
And now we will move from learning from nature to the zoo. And we will learn few powerful lessons from few animals. So the first lesson is lesson of the pigeon. One should never indulge in excessive affection or concern for anyone or anything. Otherwise, one will have to experience great suffering, just like the foolish pigeon. What is that? So, our good friend, the saintly person, he's telling a story. He's saying, one time I was in the forest and I became a witness of something. And he's telling the story. What is the story? There was this pigeon with his family, a father pigeon and a mother pigeon and small baby pigeons, and they were living very nicely together. And then one day the mother and the father, they decided to go to get some food for the babies. And when they came back, they saw something horrible. What was that? A hunter came and took the baby pigeons with his net. He caught them. And then the mother and the father, they were like so worried, they didn't know what to do. And then the mother said, I don't care. I have to save my babies. And she just rushed into the net. And the hunter caught her also. And then the father, he was thinking what to do now. I should try to help them, to save them. But if I try, same thing will happen with me. And then maybe I just have to escape. But if I escape, what's the use of my life? Without my wife, without my kids, my life is useless. So what to do now? And he was in this great dilemma and he was thinking. And the last moment he said, okay, let me try to help them. And he also rushed and the hunter caught him also and went happy back home. So when our saintly man is witnessing this situation, this story, he's saying the lesson I learned from this is one should never indulge in excessive affection or concern to anyone or anything. In other words, materially speaking, we should always stay a little bit detached in this material world, because every excessive attachment in this world will become a reason for suffering. This is the lesson that he is giving to us. In other words, not that we don't have attachments. Attachments are natural. Husband is attached to wife, wife is attached to husband, they are attached to their kids. You work hard, you make some money, you are attached to the result of your work. That's natural. But it should not be excessive attachment, because this will bring suffering. So this is one lesson that he's giving us, we can learn from the pigeon. And then the next guru is the python. Do you like this picture? It's a powerful picture, huh? So python, we mentioned that our saintly person that is leading us through this story, he was known as the python sadhu. And why python sadhu? A python has a very interesting nature. A python just stays in one place. And he knows, if I just stay here, everything that I need will come to me. I don't have to go anywhere. And if the food comes, python eats. If lots of food come, the python eats a lot. And after that, if the food doesn't come, he doesn't eat, but he just stays there. And he has this firm faith that whatever I need in life, it will come to me. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to do any job, any work. Don't worry. And the things happening. So our Python sadhu, saintly person, he had this idea. That's why he was living only in one place. He was not going anywhere. And he had this very firm conviction that anything I need for my life, it will come here. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to do anything. Do you believe in this?
It's like
What do you think?
I don't pursue that.
Sorry, I couldn't hear.
It's kind of I don't pursue nothing. I attract what I need.
Okay, yes, yes. So you accept this philosophy, this idea?
Not always.
No, not so easy, huh? Otherwise, I can tell you, okay, tomorrow you don't go to work.
Oh, I wish. Tomorrow is Sunday.
Oh, so tomorrow we can practice for one day. But it's not so easy to believe this, huh? You just stay home and everything that you need, it will anyway come. But actually it's true. It's a fact. We can tell you amazing story. Pandava can tell you an amazing story about a person we met actually here in Benelux many, many years ago.
Oh, it's actually in Germany, but we are
In
staying
German,
in
so.
Bangladesh. So some years back, we were living in Bangladesh, and then a friend of ours, he brought us to a Benedictine monastery, and he had a friend there, Brother Tom, who was a very nice person. He was well versed, well read in Sanskrit. He knew several languages. He was reading Bhagavad Gita in Sanskrit. He was telling all this. He was kind of devoted Krishna, although he was a Christian monk. So he told us, I'm living in this monastery for 35 years, and I don't go anywhere. And my realization is that everyone that I needed to meet in this life, he came to me, and I met him here. Just like you guys, you came to me all the way from Belgium. I didn't come to you. And we went there several times actually, and we had very interesting conversations. So this was his realization. He was just sitting there, and whatever he had to learn and acquire, according to his karma, according to the mercy of God, came to him. If you think about this week, you live with the money that you earned the previous week, right? So you work the whole week, then you get your paycheck at the end of the week. And with this money, you live when? The next week, right?
1 month actually.
For a month.
6 weeks.
So this month, we're now in the month of July. So the money that you spend now, you have earned when? In June. So you have this money now. In the same way, all the wealth that you have in this lifetime has been earned already in a previous lifetime. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada always makes this point that the quantity of happiness and distress is already predetermined. The Vedas say that the mountain of rice that you're gonna eat this life, it's a mountain of rice. It's figuratively allegory of all your necessities, all the wealth that you need. Is born with you when you're born. It's already there. So you don't have to worry so much about that you go hungry and you will not have a place to stay. It has been already earned by you in the previous lifetime. Doesn't mean that in this lifetime now you can be lazy and inactive, because that means in the next life you won't have anything. But what it means that now in this lifetime you can dedicate more of your energy to Krishna consciousness. That's the simple point that Prabhupada makes again and again. Happiness comes, distress comes without our endeavor. Nobody endeavors to attain unhappiness and suffering, right? But in the same way, happiness comes, distress comes, happiness comes. Sukha dukkha, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains. So this is the lesson. Don't be inactive. Don't be fatalistic. You know, this is what usually people say when Western people, when we present this knowledge from the Vedas. Very often people say, "Oh, these are these fatalistic, pessimistic philosophies of the Indian philosophy. They say that you don't everything is predetermined. You cannot do anything. You just sit down and meditate." No, it's not what that means. It means you have enough to maintain yourself. Put more energy in Krishna consciousness and spiritual advancement. Don't be inactive. Be active, but spiritual.
So what do you think about this lesson from the Python?
We have to do our duty, but material endeavors in moderation.
Yes, exactly. We have to do our duty. We have to put some endeavors to whatever is our duty. Go to job, take care of our family, take care of our kids. All these are our duties. We have to do it, but in moderation. Yes, so some part of our energy should actually go in spiritual direction, developing ourselves. And then we have two powerful lessons from the bees. What can we learn from the bees? What do you think? That we have to eat as much honey as possible? That's a powerful lesson. Yes. They take nectar from different places. Okay, that's good. You should always look for the nectar in life. Yes.
They also spread it. They also give it to others.
They give to others. Yes. That's also very good. Also, there are bees, they take from little bit of nectar from many places. Although they can go to one or two places and take lots of nectar, they don't do that. They go to many places and take little bit. So it is explained that someone who is trying to be a spiritual person, he is not trying to become a burden to anyone. Like you see, oh, this person, he is like whatever, materially rich, or I can get so many things from him. And now every day you go to him and you try to grab as much as possible. This will be wrong for someone who is trying to advance spiritually. Rather, we should not give inconvenience to any living entity. You should try to live in such a way, you should try to take as much as you need from others without creating any disturbance for them. This is a lesson that we can learn from the bees. Don't make your life becoming a burden for someone else. Even if these are your family members. Why your life should be a burden for someone else? Don't do it. Like the kids, they should not make their life burden for their mothers and fathers. Do you agree? Yes or no? Are you sure?
Parents agree. I don't know about the kids.
So what does that mean? Well, sometimes when you eat your lunch, you take your plates and you wash your plate. Don't wait for your mommy to wash your plate. You do it. Or maybe even when you become a little bit bigger, then you start washing your clothes sometimes. Not so difficult, not so complicated. Yes? Do you agree? Are you sure?
Another thing is that about the sannyas dharma. It's very interesting that sannyasis, because they are accepted as socially dead persons, they have died. Therefore, part of the ceremony of a sannyasi is called antyeshti, that means he performs his own funeral, because nobody will perform it for him. The children have to perform normally, but he doesn't have, he won't have. So, that means a sannyasi, he goes begging also, just like the brahmacharis do, or sometimes the brahmanas. But he goes begging the last, means the last one. Because part of the sannyas dharma is that because you're already a dead person, socially, you shouldn't inconvenience anyone. Nobody should be put into any difficulties because of you, because you don't exist socially anymore. So you go begging last. After the brahmacharis have gone, after the brahmanas, everybody has eaten, you're the last one. So this is another powerful lesson of
of the bees.
In the same line. So.
And also sometimes the bees, you know, they create lots of honey, but then someone comes and steals it. The greedy man is like a bee who struggles to produce a large quantity of honey, which is then stolen by a man who will enjoy it personally or sell it to others. So we shouldn't acquire too many material things because you don't know for how long time you'll be able to have them. It may happen that you work so hard, so hard, so hard for material possessions, then at the end, it's gone. Okay, sometimes it may stay for your kids, whatever. But sometimes you never know. You never know what will happen. Like, we remember a situation that happened like just before year 2000, 1997, 8. There was a big inflation. I don't know if it happened here in Holland, but in our country, in Bulgaria, this inflation came and people who were practically trying to just keep some money for a living for, let's say, the last 20, 30 years, suddenly the money lose their value and they had to go with a whole, like a bag of money to buy one bread in the shop.
Well, this happens only in countries like Bulgaria. It doesn't happen in Netherlands.
I guess so. And it shows that whatever material you get, whatever material assets, you don't know for how long you'll be able to keep them. So that's why, again, don't put too much endeavor for material development. Rather, spread your energy. Okay, we need some normal lifestyle, but why do we need this normal lifestyle? Actually, to make spiritual advancement. That is the whole idea, the whole lesson.
Okay, let's see how much time we have left.
30 minutes. Your plan is 15 minutes.
Yeah, 15 minutes.
15 more minutes.
Yeah, and we also for the questions.
Okay. So we will take 5 more minutes and then we will open for questions. Another animal that we can learn something interesting is the fish. It is said that sometimes we become slaves of our senses. And the fish sees the hook of the fisherman and sees there is something very tasty there. But the fish is thinking, oh, I can get the tasty thing without going on the hook. And then what happens?
The hook gets it.
Yes. So in the same way, we should not become slaves of our senses. We should control our senses and use our senses for our own benefit. In other words, some self-control in life. All the great people who are achieving a lot in life, they have learned some self-control. If you don't have self-control, it's very, very difficult to become successful in life. You may even not be absolutely spiritual person. You may be like completely material person. But if you don't have self-control, you won't be able to be successful in life. Like all the successful people, we can see they're getting up early. They're preparing themselves for their day. They will do some kind of exercises or meditation, read a book, plan the day, what they want to achieve, make a plan for the day. All successful people are doing this. So everything begins with self-control. Do you believe this? Yes or yes? Thank you.
Self-control and self-love.
Yes. Self-love means self-realization. Because if you really love yourself, then you understand, wait a minute, I'm not just a material machine, material body, I'm a spiritual entity. So how to love myself? What is the best thing I can do for my spiritual being? What is the best thing I can do for my spiritual growth? Yes. Very nice. And then we have three more lessons. This is a powerful lesson. There was a person who was very much expert in making bows and arrows. And one day when he was making an arrow, he was so much focused on his job, on his duty, that the king passed by, and you know the kings, when they are going to some place, they never go alone. There is like a huge crowd of people with them, like their ministers, their guards, soldiers, musicians, like it's a big thing, 50, 100, 200 people. But this man, he was so focused on his duty, he wanted to make this arrow in a perfect way, he did not even notice that the king passed with all these people and all this noise. So this is a powerful lesson, that we should be very concentrated, very focused on what we want to achieve in this life. It is explained that if you have two qualities, you will become very successful in anything in this life: focus and determination. You should be very focused on what you want to achieve, and you should be very determined. You should be ready to do it again and again and again until you reach success. So that's also a powerful lesson.
This reminds me about the Mahabharata story, maybe some of you know the story. When the Pandavas, after they went through their military training, they were put to test by their military guru, Devanagari. So they had to hit with a arrow the eye of a wooden bird which was at some distance. So this was the task. And then one by one, they were coming and picking up the bow and aiming. And then their guru was asking them the same question: "What do you see?" Before they shoot the arrow. And then they were explaining, "I see the forest, I see the tree." And then the guru would say, "No, don't shoot. You anyway. You won't succeed."
Successful.
And then all of them, they were going through this until the last one came, Arjuna. And then Dronacharya asked him, "What do you see?" And Arjuna said, "I see only the eye of the bird. That's it. I don't." And then he asked, "Don't you see the forest, the tree, the birds?" And Arjuna said, "No, I see only the eye of the tree." And then Dronacharya said, "Then shoot, you will succeed." And then he did. So this is the lesson for all of us. If we have, also in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, "Bahushatakyanantascha buddhayo vyavasayam." The determination of those who have many branches, many desires, is very illusory. It's not focused enough, so they won't succeed. So sometimes maybe it sounds fanatical that we should only focus on spiritual life. This should be our only goal. Maybe it sounds too radical, too strict. However, every successful person in material life also, he will tell the same. People who are successful, they know this. And people who are not very successful, they don't want to waste, they don't want to lose their freedom to move about, to let their mind roam about the universe. But they're very surprised for this.
And the last guru is our body. The material body is also my spiritual master, said the saintly person, because it teaches me detachment. Being subject to creation and destruction, it always comes to a painful end. Thus, although using my body to acquire knowledge, I always remember that it will ultimately be consumed by others, and remaining detached, I move about in this world. So that's the last lesson our saintly person is teaching us, that our material body is temporary. It's like a car. We buy a nice car and we're using the car for whatever, 3, 5, 10 years. And at some point, the car becomes old. And we have to change the car and move on. Yes? It's not that the car becomes too old and you sit down next to the car and you are crying and you cannot continue your life. No. So in the same way, our body is like a machine and we are using it to achieve so many things in this world. But actually we are not the body, we are the spirit inside the body. This is the powerful lesson that we are learning from this guru, our body. And that's why we should not be too attached to it. Rather, we should be always detached and we should always be focused on the spiritual advancement. Thank you very much for your kind attention and patience. So now we will take maybe a few questions if you have some, and then we'll finish this program with a nice kirtan, with one more powerful mantra meditation.
Yeah, we have time. We can do 15 minutes.
So, question? Or you can also give some reflection, something that really caught your attention. We'll be happy to hear. What did you like about this presentation? Yes.
You mentioned on the presentation the first thing about Earth, that Earth is still moving in an axis and is not retarded. And you told the analogy that we should also work on our path. How will we get the confidence that we are working on the right path?
How to get the confidence that we are working on the right path? Well, sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes we are becoming deluded. Sometimes we are losing confidence. That's why we need a good association. We need people that are constantly encouraging us, isn't it? Like even in the material life, we can see we need a guide, we need a trainer, someone that is constantly pushing us. You can do it, you can do it. Yes? Is it so? Like, for example, you try to make muscles on your own. And the first day you are very enthusiastic and you do good. And then next day, oh, I don't feel like training again. And then you need someone to tell you, no, you can do it today, not tomorrow. You have to do it today. So in the same way, in the material and in spiritual life, we need someone who is constantly pushing us, keeping us enthusiastic, keeping us steady and determined. And generally, this is the guru, the spiritual master. Material world also, you need a guru in each and every sphere. Like at school, you need a guru. If you're learning something, you need a guru. You need a teacher. And also good association. If you see someone else who is doing the same thing and he's doing it and he's successful, you're kind of becoming encouraged. Yeah, I want to do it also. Definitely I'll succeed like him. So this is giving you inspiration. Like if you want to become a thief, you have to associate with thieves. If you want to become a good businessman, you have to associate with. If you want to become a good mother, you have to associate with. So this is what it takes, a good association, and then you'll become good in this sphere of life. Is that okay? Something else? Yes.
Okay, one question. Thank you so much for the nice session. So, on the example which you gave for the pigeon who also sacrificed his life to save his family, uh, how can we distinguish when we should do this action as part of our duty as well? Because somebody can say, okay, but it's my duty to die for my family.
So how to understand what is our duty when we have to sacrifice ourselves for someone else? Well, it means we should understand what is our duty. Different people, they have different duties. Yes? For example, you're a teacher. If you're a teacher, you have to sacrifice yourself for educating others. That's your sacrifice. But now if you're a soldier, oh, you have a different duty. Soldiers, they go on the battle and they can die, but that's their duty. They sacrifice their life even sometimes for the country. So what is your duty? That is very important to learn in life. It is explained in the Vedas, we have two kinds of duties. One is our spiritual duty. That means our connection with the Supreme, with absolute reality, with God. From this perspective, our duty is to practice spiritual life. And also every one of us has a material duty. Like, for example, you are a mother, that's your duty to take care of your kids. Or you are a father, your duty is to take care of your family. Or you are the president of the country, your duty is to take care of the country and all the citizens. Allow them to peacefully live their life and perform their duties. So like that, everyone has a duty. How to understand what is our duty? Well, we can think about it. And it's very much possible that on our own we can understand what is our duty. But if we need help, just go to someone that you trust, someone that can help you to understand this, what's your duty. And if you want to understand your spiritual duty, then you need a spiritual person to help you to understand what's your spiritual duty. Is that clear? Is that okay? Okay, I think that's enough intellectual exercises, enough food for the brain. Let's now make a little bit more yoga again. And after that, we promise we'll fit you very nicely. So now we will ask everyone to get up. We'll stretch a little bit ourselves and then we'll chant a little bit more. Are you ready? Okay, let's see now who is good in yoga. Can you touch the ground without bending your knees? Almost. Okay, very good. Now can you touch your head to the ground by bending backwards? That's difficult, huh?
I'm not going to try that one.
Okay, let's make something more simple. Can you do like me? Wow, you're professional. Okay, other side. Very good. Now touch the ground. Very good. Now put your hands in the air and repeat with me. Go! Go Ranga! 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 Okay, very good. Now you're ready for kirtan. We just need our mridanga. Please come.